We're still trying to process all the feels, folks. We're going to review Endgame for you tonight. Welcome to the Grizzled Geek. I'm Mike.
I'm Kirsten.
I'm Doug.
And we're here. We just got back from Avengers Endgame. Managed to get tickets in there. Had some friends that couldn't stay with us because all those tickets sold out so quick.
Yeah.
And we're feeling all the feels, folks, and we're here to process them with you. We're going to do, as usual, non-spoilers at first, but that's going to be really short because we have
There's a ton to go through,
and you can't talk about it without spoilers.
Yeah.
First off, did we like the movie? Kirsten?
Oh my God, yes.
There is definitely an argument to be made that this is the best Marvel movie to date.
Yes.
It just satisfies so many needs and desires out of the entire franchise.
Yeah.
This is for the fanboys. This movie here is like, if you love these characters, this is totally for you. In fact, if you haven't seen all the movies, you're gonna miss a good chunk of this movie and what it means. All the the emotional beats of this movie. Yeah. You're gonna miss without.
That's cool. Yeah.
This is a reward for following 10 years of these characters.
Yeah. Yeah. That actually just occurred to me. I'm going tomorrow night with my wife, and she has not seen Dark World.
Oh.
So that'll be interesting. All right.
Yeah, because this touches on all of them. Like all, pretty much all 22 movies.
Yeah.
A little bit. Some of them majorly. So. Yeah. We're not trying to spoil anything, so we can't really get into too much of the character details. What I can tell you is they are correct. Everything in the trailers was pretty much from the first little part of the movie.
Like first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Was
not everything from the trailers.
well, most of it.
The
important things that was like, oh my God.
On the main trailers, it was.
No.
Towards the end, there was a couple scenes that were not.
Well,
we'll
get into it in the spoilers, but there's actually quite a bit that's later in the movie. But we'll get into it.
Yeah, in the later trailers. Yeah. But pretty much first few trailers, that's pretty much all the first part of the movie. And this movie takes a direction I didn't, kind of expected, but I don't know. There was so many surprises in this movie. I will say this.
There is stuff that everyone expected, but not the way they expected it.
Yes.
Exactly. That's the best way to put it.
And for what was expected, there was quite a few that people were right on as in regards to the story. For what there was that people expected, there was so much more that wasn't expected that it made up for it.
Yeah. I mean, this is, we can't stress enough not to spoil this movie. Like I said, if you haven't seen the movie, do not watch the end of the spoiler section, because you want to go into this, as blind as possible to get the full effect of everything. Because this is one of the best.
In fact, I have skipped all reviews from all of the people, even the non-spoiler reviews are what's out right now, pre-release.
Spoilers hit this day. Today,
well, I mean,
or yesterday.
Most of the reviews that have been going up were the non-spoiler reviews because they knew the public couldn't see it yet.
Yeah.
Right.
So I avoided all of those because I didn't even want that much to because it's really, I mean,
Thursday morning all the spoiler reviews hit.
We've said as much as we could pretty much say without spoiling anything. Yeah. Everything we say from this point has a slight chance of spoiling it.
Pretty much all the characters have a satisfying arc. This is a very different movie than Infinity War, which was Thanos' movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't Thanos' movie. This is the original Six's movie.
Yeah.
This is totally, first Avengers movie, those characters, this is their movie.
Yeah.
In more ways than one.
In more ways than one. So, there's not really a whole lot. I mean, can't recommend this highly enough. This is a great movie. Argument for the best of the Marvel movies. I think I like this better than Infinity War. And I tell you what, it's a roller coaster of emotions to the entire thing. But I mean, I don't think you need to hear anything else other than that to go see it.
Yeah.
So, like I said, short and sweet.
The likelihood is with ticket sales, you've
already seen this movie. Yeah, more than likely you've already seen this. If you haven't, it's because you couldn't get tickets.
Yeah, it's because they were sold out.
We intend to very soon.
Yeah, true. So here we go, guys. into the spoiler sections, jumping right in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoilers.
Yep.
Wow.
I don't even know where to start.
Yeah. I mean, usually we start with spoilers with like the big spoiler, but there is no single big spoiler. There's a bunch.
Well, let's start with what you thought was going to happen and how it differs from what you thought would happen.
Well, let's talk about the trailers. The
Okay.
trailer scenes that
Sure.
are actually almost none of them happen in the first 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Most hit around the hour mark.
Yeah, the Thanos fight at the end. There's a couple clips of that in the last trailer.
Well, and then picking up Ronan happens about an hour into the movie. Them getting their suits happens about 10 or 15 minutes after that. So there's all of that stuff. Then the last scene where we see Tony asking Captain America if he trusts him,
Yeah.
that happens even further along in the
Yeah,
movie.
that's
So
true,
it was
yeah.
really the middle of the movie that we got in
Yeah.
most of the trailers.
To be
But-
quite honest, I forgot most of the most newest stuff because
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid the newer trailers.
Yeah.
I saw the one where they face Thanos down, and then Captain America getting up, looking all messed up. That's from the end fight, but other than that, the rest of it's pretty much middle of the first half of the movie.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the ending of Captain Marvel, you might be a little confused because it just takes for granted that you've seen that one, and Captain Marvel starts off with the Avengers pretty much
Yeah.
in this movie. So her getting back and answering the beeper.
Yeah.
If you didn't see that sizzle reel, then you're not.
Yeah, that
might be a
happened
little
at the
confused.
end credit scene from Infinity War leads directly into this.
Well, then in the credit scene for Captain Marvel.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
where she
That's what I
answers
meant.
it,
Yeah, Captain Marvel, where she shows up. Where's Fury?
Yeah.
Right.
Then they just kind of jump from there to she's helping him.
Well, I mean, we start with the obvious. Our expectations. We knew people weren't going to make it out of this.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think most of us were wrong with who we thought was going to die. At least partially.
Yeah.
There's multiple deaths in this.
Well, we'll get to the.
Yeah.
I don't know that we actually did like a predictions in any of our news or
I
anything
think
like
most
that.
people predicted Captain America. Like,
See,
that
I
was
didn't. I predicted exactly what happened at the end. I predicted that Tony would die. I was actually hoping he would become an AI
Yeah.
Oh, that would be cool.
because he is. He has been in the comics.
well,
Right.
there's no
Reason why he might not
believe
be.
He
Yeah.
could.
Yeah.
Something could happen, and that Captain America would get. I thought he would just stay in the past, but
Right.
that was cool that they brought him.
Well, he
brought
did.
him.
He did stay in the past.
Well, I mean that we
we
wouldn't
wouldn't
see him
see him.
again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
that he would.
Outgrow.
That
He had to
we
pass
would.
on the shield.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
So and I don't think anybody had Scarlet Johansson,
Yeah.
Black Widow, as their,
Ooh.
especially since she's got her own movie. Nobody was
Right.
thinking
Yeah.
that, but it is. I mean,
Well,
we know now for sure that it's set in the past.
when we knew they were going after the Soul Stone, or after the stones, right? I'm like,
Mhm.
I realized, well, someone has to go after the Soul Stone.
Yeah.
Because it went from Vormir to Thanos, so the only time you get it was before Thanos got it.
Yeah.
So if you got it from Vormir, someone. So I thought that was gonna be like an end thing. My prediction was Cap and Tony would be there. Those are the two that go after the Soul Stone. One of them would have to be the sacrifice, and the same kind of scene would play out between them fighting over who was going to do it. And then
Yeah.
that's when we'd lose somebody at the end. But it turned out to be Hawkeye and Black Widow who went after the Soul Stone. And they had a fight over who was going to sacrifice themselves, and it turned out to be they subverted expectations because everybody would expect Hawkeye to be the one to do it.
Yeah.
But it's got a family to go back to, so it was Black Widow.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think the Russos did a good job with a very clever job of how they got the encounter between Thanos and the Avengers again.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
The two nebulas existing at the same time,
Yeah.
sharing the same neural network.
Yeah.
Going,
That's cool. Yeah.
oh, sweet! I've got an inside scoop on the future from
Yeah. Exactly.
from memories of the other nebula. That was awesome.
The other big thing that was subverted expectations, the fact they killed Thanos off in the
Right?
first 10 minutes of the movie.
So quickly, like
Yeah.
get started, and I'm like, there's no way they're gonna like just off him. He's just not gonna be there, or
Yeah.
he's gonna teleport, or nope. They
Nope.
just finish him
They
off
just
right
finish
there.
him off.
Thor just chops his head off.
Yeah. Thor, yeah, oh my god. Yeah, so they kill off Thanos right in the beginning of the movie. So, yeah, that was unexpected.
Yeah.
I would say, like, my favorite, there were so many character arcs. Everyone had great character arc through this whole thing.
Yeah.
My favorite is Thor.
Thor is so good.
Who was basically the Big Lebowski
Yeah.
of Thunder.
Well, he feels guilty for not doing, killing Thanos the first time around and preventing the snap. So then he kills Thanos in like a fit of rage.
Right.
When they find out that he destroyed the stones.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he goes on a drinking bender for the next 5 years.
So now he looks like the dude
Hanging
from
out
Big
with
Lebowski.
Meek and Korg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that his
Korg.
Korg, that's it. Meek and Korg. Just eating pizza, drinking beer, playing video games. It was so great when he yells at the little kid.
Yeah.
I will fly to your house and
tear your legs off and shove it up your butt.
so good.
And he's got a gut. He's all fat and
Yeah.
out of shape. And the great thing about it is they kept him fat
Yeah.
for the rest of the movie. He doesn't get, like, there's no montage of him getting in shape.
He doesn't
Right.
just call his hammer or so, or his axe and
No,
boom, I'm ripped again.
Right.
Nope, he's Fat Thor for the rest of the movie. In fact, he ends the movie as him as Fat Thor.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. That's where in Infinity War.
Big old bushy beard.
Infinity War, Quill was fatter than Thor. Thor's fatter than Quill at the end of this one.
Yeah.
So, and they are together in the same ship.
That's hilarious.
All right, what about you? Who's your favorite character arc for this?
I don't know. I've got to say, I really loved Thor's. It was just very wholesome to see him come back. Like, he's been through so much throughout all these movies, and you know that it's taken a toll on him. And then to see him, be able to hash it out with his mom and, get back.
That was a rough scene for me, man. Seeing him and his mom.
Right.
I was like, oh.
It's like, you always want to go cry back to mom, and he can't go cry back to mom, and now he's got the opportunity to do it and, get over some of the stuff that he's dealing with. And
she told him the things he needed to hear.
Right.
So, yeah. Yeah, that was a rough scene. Doug, what about you?
Yeah, I liked... as far as characters go, Thor's my favorite character, so I loved his arc.
Yeah.
I loved... just not exactly character arc, but I love how they brought all of the old supporting characters.
Yes.
Almost every supporting character from every movie was back in this movie in some sense, and some had bigger parts. Tilda Swinton's part was,
Yes.
I loved that.
Oh my god, that was surprising.
Her interaction with the Hulk and Banner was great.
Yes.
I love that. I liked that Renee Russo came back to play Thor's mom. That was awesome. Yeah. We even got maybe a minute of Natalie Portman in there doing new scenes. Michael Douglas coming back to play two different versions of himself.
Yep. Peggy Carter.
Yeah, Peggy Carter, Howard Stark, the older Howard Stark, not the younger one from the first Avenger. But yeah, I mean, it was awesome to see all of those characters back and how they fit seamlessly into this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah,
It just shows you how rich this universe is, how much character and depth there is to everything that's going on. And, I mean, the big complaint is that Marvel movies have, until recently, just had kind of bland bad guys and stuff like that. And it was too... But this goes back and shows you that, that doesn't matter. What mattered was the characters and the people they interacted with. And that, the action was... it was to pop the crowd and stuff like that, but really it was a story about these characters more and all the people they touched more than it was about action and villains and their motivations. So you looking back from this point backwards, you're like, oh, it's not that big a deal that bad guys didn't have any super complex motivations. Yeah, I mean Loki did. He always had a pretty but the other ones, who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, if you went back and watched the whole cinematic universe forward now, knowing where it goes, you'd be like, oh, yeah, who cares about the bad guys? Pay attention to all of the web of character relations that go on. Yeah.
What about Iron Man and Captain America, the two big ones? But their character arc through the movie, this is a satisfying payoff for both those guys.
Yes, on the Captain America side. No, on the Tony Stark side.
Really?
No on Tony Stark side, really?
Because he didn't grow.
No.
He didn't. And even at the very end, the only way he grew, and I wouldn't even say it was that much growing, was like, oh, I found something I like,
Right.
and I want to hang on to. But even then, he kind of diverted about, nope, I need to,
Right.
I gotta protect it. So I mean, this was what happened to him after the first movie. Is I want to be a hero, I want to do better, I want to be good for people, but he still spent the first part of the movie blaming everybody else, and not taking responsibility for anything that happened, and then it just kind of fell into, all right, regular team stuff.
Sure.
And there was no real resolution. It was just kind of like, okay, we're good.
Right.
You're like, well, how are you good? You just decided to put it aside? That was it?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't think that I was really looking for something like that from Tony. Like, I like Tony's character, how he is, and the growth that I could have seen was just him resolving the things between him and Captain and the team, and that did happen. And I was appreciative of the fan service of him getting his, little kid with.
I would have liked to have seen either he save Bucky or Bucky save him, and an acknowledgement of being like, hey, I got to see my father again. I understand you weren't in control with that, and we're okay. Letting that part go and acknowledging that, okay, maybe I was a little wrong in that situation.
Right.
I think the problem is we missed him and Steve's pretty much their makeup, because it ends with them, Tony blaming Steve still, and then 5 years pass and they're friends again.
Yeah.
Because when he shows up at the cabin, they're like, he's like legitimately happy to see them.
It's still kind of tense.
Yeah.
And kind of like, okay.
Yeah, it's tense because he doesn't. I think it's more tense because he doesn't want to get involved.
Yeah.
He's got something going now. Because like you said, honestly, it's good to see all of you. And I think those 5 years and him having a family, he had a chance to mellow out how he felt.
Yeah.
But we didn't get to see that. And then when they're working together, when everything's going down, it's
Yeah, it just kind of falls into, we're a team again.
Right.
Sweet.
Yep. But Captain America, though, how about that story arc? I mean,
America's greatest Bond.
It's America's ass.
That is America's ass.
The best line in the movie.
So good. That is America's ass.
Yeah. It was funny just seeing him meet himself from 5 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? And first thing he does is he says, oh shit, when he sees himself.
Yeah.
Something that himself wouldn't say 5 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
Which was great. Yeah, that was just a great scene.
Mm-hmm.
The whole, Captain America being one of my favorite characters out of the MCU. I mean, I've always liked Captain America in the comics, but never more than I liked him since the movies.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everyone says he's like a one-dimensional character in the comics. He's not, if you actually read the comics, but I can see how people would get that.
He is less a one-dimensional character than Superman is, and then Superman's not really all that one-dimensional either. So
exactly. So I mean, but I understand people that have not read the certain stories can understand that. But yeah, people got a chance to see how great this character is with Chris Evans playing him.
Yep.
And this was a satisfying conclusion. In fact, the movie ends with the scene. I was like, my dream scene that it would end on with him and Peggy dancing.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, they're never gonna do that. Or it never will be the end scene, but it is. That's the final.
I don't know that I thought that it would be the end scene, but I knew that scene was going to happen. That was my gut instinct, was Tony would die and that Captain America would go back in time and stay back in time.
Yeah.
Which he did.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, we get to see him again as an old man, which is cool because he's essentially aged twice.
Yeah.
Right.
So, the super soldier serum keeps him alive longer than Peggy.
Right.
Yeah.
But he still looks like an old man.
Yeah.
Just not a super old man.
Right.
So that was cool.
Well, we don't know how strong he is. I bet he's got old man strength.
They probably.
I bet he's stronger than you are.
So speaking of Captain America and Superman, the crowd, probably the crowd, biggest crowd pop for the whole movie, crowd favorite moment. This Captain America calling Thor's hammer to himself.
That was so
good.
good.
Oh man, that was one of the best scenes ever. Thor's in trouble because for a while Thor was wielding both. He had
Yeah.
Mjolnir and
Got one knocked out of his hand.
Stormbreaker. Yeah.
Stormbreaker's getting shoved into his chest.
Yeah, and for a moment there, it was almost like we watched it, and I was like, Captain America is almost better with Mjolnir right now than like Thor was doing at that, like with both of them at the same time.
Because Captain America's a better fighter.
Yeah.
Because he's had to be.
That's true.
Yeah, he's far better trained than Thor. Thor never had to be the greatest fighter. He was super strong and invulnerable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he just, he's a good fighter for what he is, but Captain America's a much better fighter. So you add that hand-to-hand skill with the power of Mjolnir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy and amazing.
So all you people that said he's not worthy in Age of Ultron, he was just faking. Captain America, it was great. For those of you who didn't think he got enough in Infinity War, he didn't get short shift there, but he more than makes up for it for this movie, I think. Let's talk about the emotional beats of this movie. Because there was a lot. I mean, the movie starts off reminding you what we've lost by showing you the Barton family getting dusted,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it brings you back, right? Right there, the opening scene was the gut punch to let you remind you what's at stake.
Right? Like, it's only supposed to be half the population, ends up being like 4 people.
Yep.
Yeah.
All in the same place.
Yeah, which means there's families out there that had five family members that stayed around. But
Yeah.
It's
well, and it had to happen that all of his family was gone.
Because if it was one of them,
he would have gone totally off the deep end.
Gone
Ronin.
And here's the thing: he's like thinking himself a monster later on when he wants to sacrifice himself. But I'm like, he went and killed bad guys. His family died, and he killed bad guys. I would have no no problem.
He went full Punisher basically.
Yeah, totally.
Although he's not going after the people who killed his family. It's just like you
do bad things.
You survived the snap where good people didn't, and you hurt good people, so I'm going to kill you.
Yep.
Which, all right.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm fine with that.
Which is also why Black Widow never brings him in.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, where do you think he's going next? And that's all they do.
Yeah, she never goes after him.
She's the first scene we hear about him doing this is Rhodey has tracked him to Mexico. And he's all like, I kind of hope he keeps going, or I don't really want to catch him, or something like that. And she just said, just find out where he's going next.
Yeah.
So that she could keep track of him if they ever needed him.
But she didn't go bring him in.
Did not go bring him in. Just waited.
Yeah. Man. Yeah, there's so many, like I said, it starts off with that emotional punch. Then basically them losing twice. Going and killing Thanos and realizing that there's nothing, they can do. So they lost again, and they had to move on.
Empty victory.
5 years later, then them going back in time, Thor seeing his mom, and then Steve seeing Peggy, and Tony seeing his dad.
Oh, that was so good.
I mean, there was just so many emotional beats, and then, the elation of the last battle, which was... The last battle was comic book splash page after comic book splash page on screen.
Yeah.
I mean, it was straight out of comic books. Like, ridiculous. If you thought the Civil War clash was straight from the comic books, or whatever, you've seen nothing.
Yeah, this was far better.
Seen nothing. I don't know how do you top that battle? I'm like, can you?
Can't for a while, because obviously you got the whole cavalry comes in. Everybody was brought back from the snap, comes to join in the fight. So man, that's so much, including where those were Reaver ships, weren't they?
Yeah,
Reaver ships. There was some ships from Nova.
Yeah, the Nova Corps.
Nova Corps guys.
The Reaver ships came in. All of Wakandans had disappeared. Like all the mages.
All the mages. Yeah, like Stark got everybody from all of the sanctums to
it was everybody. It was a
Strange,
whole
not Stark.
super powered army.
Yeah.
And there was several fan scenes, moments of people lining up, posing.
Yes.
There's one of the female Avengers that had their scene there.
Yeah.
Which was a little, total fan service. It was cool.
For sure, yeah.
But it was kind of a little weird. Like, why like all the
Why
females.
is this happening?
Yeah, why is this happening? Like, how is it
They
just?
don't know each other. Why is this happening?
Yeah, they don't know each other, and why is the girl with the spear helping the lady who's glowing? It,
Yeah,
just,
like,
it just blew up Thanos' main show.
Right, who just got her king back that she's supposed to protect.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is she over there? But it's kind of
Whatever.
It was
It
kind
was
of convenient, but it was a great.
It was cool to see.
It was cool
but,
to see. Yeah.
Definitely, this wasn't organic. This was.
Valkyrie had her wing and her Pegasus.
That was so good.
That was very good.
Oh man, that was
one of my favorite scenes is watching Spider-Man fly through from one person to the next person to the next person.
Oh yeah, and we got rescue.
Yeah, we got rescue. We got man, it's like all the fan service you want, wrapped into everything you wanted to see, all the characters you wanted to see. It was amazing. God, they set up so much stuff. With all this amazing stuff, was there any I don't know any issues you had with the movie? I can't say there were any outright problems I had with the movie.
Nah, I mean there were two things that were kind of bugged me a little, and one was that Tony never really takes responsibility for any of his actions from it. He never at any point in any of the movies admits that I screwed stuff up.
Right.
In fact, he goes on, remember how I said that we should do this, and I screwed everything up doing it, but I'm still going to say I was right, and you guys should have caved to me.
Well, he was, dehydrated, delirious. And
he was
half dead.
True.
And he just went the emotional beat of losing.
But
Spider-Man.
from that point on, that just kind of drops. He never says anything along those lines. So that kind of bugged me. The other thing was there's a little continuity problem with Captain Marvel. They did a great job with using her. She's there in the beginning. She's not there to help him through all the struggles of finding the stones. And then she shows up to help out in the last battle. Has a couple of scenes with Thanos, but she's not. I mean, she gets beat by Thanos just like everybody else.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I loved that. The one thing you're going is she decimates Thanos' flagship and chunks of his army. You're like, why didn't you do this before when he was going from planet to planet destroying half their population?
Yeah, that's the problem.
I mean, that's the problem with introducing her at this late stage in the game is you can't address that issue. And she does say, there's thousands of planets out here. I can't.
Right.
But pretty much everybody seems to know of Thanos, so it's weird that she never tangled with him. There was no admission that even I can't go up. No, she's all like, I'm gonna go kill him.
I'm gonna kill him.
And they're like, hey man, we're a team. Let's all go. And
he'd be dead if he had all the stones.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he beat her without any stones. Well, no, he had the stones. He
had the stones at that point.
The stone that powers her against her. So who knows how?
He used the Power Stone.
Was it the Power Stone?
Yeah,
no,
he used the
Power Stone's purple. That was the.
No, she grabbed the gauntlet.
And tried to keep him from snapping.
Tried to keep him from snapping his fingers, and he grabbed the purple one off of that Power Stone off of it and shot her with a blast and knocked her back.
Yeah.
So.
Knocked her. Yeah. Yeah, he whipped her, and then I don't know. So those are the two little continuity errors with her.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just something that's a result of her where she was introduced into it, but they never acknowledge it.
That's true.
Like she avoided him purposely because that was just something that was, one person can't handle or something like that.
Right. What about you? Any issues?
The only thing that really sort of bothered me is I don't feel like I like Captain America, but I don't feel like his ending was fulfilling in the way that I wanted it to be. I wanted there to be a moment where you got to see him rejoin with, I forget her name, but rejoin back with her, and then maybe go towards the end and see them dancing, or somehow I wanted that reunion to happen.
You want the reunion happen? Yeah.
I wanted
the scene where he goes back to her,
and she actually how are you alive?
I wanted that fulfillment that we did it, but instead of I really enjoyed
we know they end up together and we see them dancing together.
Right, and that's
we
very
don't see the
sweet.
reunion.
Right. The emotional reaction, because you've been waiting for that this entire time and you don't get that.
Right. And here's the thing is, that was the big separation from the MCU to the comics is with no Chris Evans, with him not continuing forward as Captain America, you have to push him backwards towards Peggy instead of forward towards Sharon like he is in the comics.
True.
Yeah.
Because I think that would have been more satisfying as a comic fan that if he had gotten together with Sharon.
True.
which they hinted at in Civil War. Civil
I
War.
like that in the comics, but not in the movies. In the movies, it's Peggy. Peggy or bust. He tried. He never moved on from her. Yeah. In all the movies.
It's in Civil War. They made it seem like he was.
He was trying to. Right. He tried. He tried. He even says, "I tried moving on, but he can't."
Right.
So I don't know. If I had to nitpick something.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I know. Because we haven't talked about him at all.
We have not talked about it at all. Is the Hulk. My absolute favorite character in the comics. They gave me Professor Hulk. They have Smart Hulk.
Yeah.
The perfect fusion of Banner and the Hulk, which is awesome. That was an awesome run in the comics. But he really never got to do anything in this movie.
That's true.
I mean, the coolest scene with the Hulk wasn't him. It was him in the past. After the mop-up scene.
Oh.
Him in the stairs and the whole
That
bit.
just silly scene where he's like, so many stairs.
Yeah. Or he goes through beating up Chitauri on his way by.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. Mark Ruffalo did an awesome job as the Hulk. He had some great scenes. It was very funny, but you got a chance. They did the homage to the Secret Wars, him holding up the,
the Avengers compound.
The Avengers compound.
Instead of a mountain.
Yeah, instead of a mountain.
And he did it with one arm.
Yeah.
Because he'd had the Infinity Gauntlet on, so his arm was all messed up, so he was just like this.
One arm holding up the compound. He never got to land a blow on Thanos. He never got his rematch.
Yeah.
And everybody else got a piece of Thanos at the end except for the Hulk. And that's my biggest complaint about if I had to complain about anything in the movie, that would be it.
Yeah.
Is the only person that didn't get a satisfying ending was the Hulk.
Yeah.
I wanted to see him even if it was just like one scene where comes in and punches him a couple times,
And he's kind of left hanging. He's just there. He's still Professor Hulk. He
lost Black Widow.
Yep.
So we don't know what's happening with him.
But there's no ride off into the sunset for him.
Right.
Yeah.
He's got to, so that makes you wonder if Ruffalo's sticking around. I assume his contract's up with everybody.
The original 6 could move on. Mm-hmm. But they don't have to come back, any of them.
Yeah.
Except for Thor. Thor, pretty much. Yeah. Thor leaves with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Thor leaves with the Guardians of the Galaxy. The Asgardians of the Galaxy.
The Asgardians of the Galaxy. That was a great scene. Yeah. So at the end, Thor leaves with them. Hulk is pretty much left on his own, with a messed up arm.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll heal eventually. Cap's an old man. Tony's dead. Black Widow's dead. And Hawkeye's with his family.
Yep.
So, original 6 are pretty much all done except for Thor.
Although he goes in a Quinjet.
He does go in a Quinjet.
And the Quinjet doesn't just leave after he gets out.
No, he's like, I'm taking this. It's my Quinjet now.
Makes you wonder.
It's retirement.
We didn't really... Black Widow essentially takes over as head of the Avengers and S.H.I.E.L.D. and whatever. And everybody's kind of reporting to her in the first half of the movie. Mm-hmm. Although Nick's back now. So.
Yeah, Nick Fury's back.
Yeah.
As we will see in Spider-Man Homecoming, or Far From Home. He's back in charge.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah. But, it's very satisfying. I mean, like I said, those are our nitpicks about the movie. Mm-hmm. We've gone through goofing over everything. There's too much to tell you everything that happened.
Yeah,
in this
you
one
go
scene
beat for
here.
beat, but there's just so much good.
There's so much good.
So, I mean, there's so many, tear-jerking moments and just satisfying beats that you're just like, if you're not excited about that last battle, scenes in that last battle, you don't have a pulse, man. I don't know what's wrong with you. Maybe comic book movies aren't for you, because there are some great scenes in that. But there you have it, guys. Please leave comments down below. What was your favorite scene? What was your favorite character? And what do you think the future holds for Thor, the Hulk, and the rest of the Avengers now that the big players are going?
And is this the best Marvel movie to date? I'm not positive. I'm going to see it again tomorrow.
You got to see it. There's too much to take in at once. I was like, this was a rough review. Not that we knew we loved the movie.
Yeah.
But how great the movie is, I feel like I felt when I watched the first Avengers. I guess that's why I'm going to put it up there as one of my favorites, because I've always said the first Avengers is my favorite movie, because no matter what you do at the end, nothing will top the feeling I got seeing all those characters for the first time together. Mm-hmm. Like my childhood come to life on the screen. Nothing was going to top that for me. And then, I don't know, I got that same feeling with this movie, which I didn't think was possible after all the spectacle of the Marvel movies. So, I can't think of a more ringing endorsement than that. So,
Yeah.
all right, guys. Any last words?
No.
No.
All right. Thank you for listening to us goob about Avengers Endgame. Really appreciate it. We'll be back with more movies. Probably Spider-Man Homecoming will be the next movie review.
Probably.
Can't wait for that one. All right, guys. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends. Hit the icon, the bell, so you get notifications. We have several people complaining about not getting our notifications. We can only do so much.
Yeah.
YouTube. If you want to support the channel and the things that we do here, Doug, how can they do that?
There'll be 3 links in our description down below. 1 to our Teespring store for shirts none of us are wearing today. We went
We're
Avengers.
representing.
Yeah, we went Avengers today. 2, you can do some shopping through our Amazon affiliate link. Anything you buy after you click that link, we get a small kickback. Or you can check us out on Patreon and support us on an ongoing basis.
Yep. All right, guys. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.